Steve Ingham is one of the world's most successful performance scientists, having worked with over 1,000 elite athletes and provided pivotal input to gold medal winning performances for dozens of Olympians and world champions. He's pioneered new well-being strategies to enable athletes to break through previously unimagined limits by counterintuitive adoption of recovery science. I think you'll find not only is this a fascinating insight into how champions are supported, but there are many lessons which everyone can benefit from.
So let's stay with us in the organizational context and the work that you do with leaders as you apply these sort of systematic scientific approaches with sort of deep diving into the human needs and motivations of people in the organization in order to unveil and challenge businesses to think differently about how they deliver personal and organizational performance. Can you paint us a picture of what this looks like in an organizational setting?
Yeah, there are some key characteristics of teams that seem to outstrip the expected performance levels, and equally some almost the reverse of teams that underperform. And typically, when we've looked at the performance, when you start to sort of take medals out of it, you look at how productive that team has been, what's the quality of the progress that they're making, then it's very rare that it's individual characteristics. It's just a star performer. It's very rare that it's intellect. And one of the performance directors, household name performance director, said to me after the Beijing Olympics, which came back covered in gold medals, super successful, fourth on the medal table, which was the target for the London Games 4 years later, and said, okay, we've got a bunch of people here, scientists, that they know their stuff, they don't know how to work with people. And so that's what we need. And it would have been really lovely if I could have said, well, we could just change the protocols we're using, the therapy methods, the way that people are eating, are designing diet plans. But it was all about communication. It was all about trust. It was all about empathy. And these areas that again, to quote the performance director at the time, I would take 20% less IQ for just a 10% improvement in EQ. And to me, that was damning of our service provision. We couldn't really look ourselves in the mirror just thinking, we don't know how to work with these people. We can't bring our knowledge to life. So that set us off on a bit of a mission to learn from other high performance industries such as the SAS or NASA, which have these spike movements that you're preparing and then you go, a bit like the Olympics, but equally from industries that have to perform every day, ambulance workers, air traffic control. And we saw that the same characteristics that separated the best teams in high performance sport were the same characteristics that they train because it saves lives. and that was trust, empathy, collective accountability. Bear in mind, I'm a scientist. I want to talk about skin suits and clever beetroot juice and training regimes. But now I'm thinking empathy is a unit of performance. And if we don't culture empathy within teams, if we don't start to understand how we do that, then we are leaving performance on the table. It means that we're ignoring that area, and so shift to that space. And I've been humbled to spend immersively the last 5 years working with businesses because I hear the same conversations about team dynamics, and I feel quite strongly that high performance teams doesn't sit in an individual responsibility; it sits between people, and there are ways in which you can nurture that. It's not easy; it's not comfortable, primarily because, as I say, if you just gave people a new standard operating procedure, they go, yeah, okay. But if you say to somebody, we need to work on your body language, now suddenly someone's getting a bit emotional about this. There are research studies that show how we turn up and work in a team, how we engage with each other is infectious, and we can deteriorate performance by not getting in the right space for us to perform when it matters.
We hope you're enjoying the Evolving Leader shorts that we're releasing before we start Season 7 in September. You can find the rest of this conversation and all of the Evolving Leader episodes on Apple Podcast, Spotify, and your favourite podcast outlet. I'll also put a link in the show notes.